Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, I know we've got a lot of gearheads out there in the audience. Well, guess what? We've got the ultimate gearheads here. Nicole, you're with Liberty's Gears. You guys have been doing this as a family business for a long, long time. Tell me how your grandfather started the business way back when, in the 60s.
So my grandfather, Joe Liberty, he was a tool and die maker for Cadillac Motor Company. Was having trouble shifting his Ford top loader. So he decided to cut off a few synchros, like X amount around the ring, and then started having issues with the synchros being ripped off. So he decided to make a pro ring, which actually is now our logo. And then it's kind of progressed from there, to our face plating, to our clutchless transmission.
You drive this Outlaw 632 car, incredible speeds at the 8th mile. What's it like having confidence knowing that the gears are going to hold up to that kind of abuse?
Oh, it's amazing. Going out there, the trans is the absolute least of my worries. I mean, I just put the manual shifter in the car for this last race for us, and the fact that I can go out there and make those little mistakes as you're going through the learning curve of it and know that the trans is still going to hold up to pretty much anything I can do to it is awesome. I have the confidence to go out there and take a new setup to a race.
And how about the adjustability? Maybe you get to the race, weather changes, track conditions are different than you wanted, so now you got to change gears. And the adjustability of Liberty's gears, of one of your transmissions, is out of this world. What's that like?
Yes, we have an enormous amount of ratio options. You may not even be able to tell between the two ratio options that fall on the chart because they're so close together. So it's great. We can make little pin hair changes and tune to the absolute best of our capabilities.
We can look inside the gearbox here, Craig, and see why it's so adjustable. Show me how.
This is what we have is an NHRA Pro Stock style transmission. It happens to be the transmission that we run also in our Outlaw 632 car. The gears in this transmission, because of how strong the trans is with the dual countershaft, we're able to come up with so many different tooth profiles that the ratio chart is almost overwhelming. In fact, it probably is overwhelming for most of my customers. If you look at it, there's literally tens of thousands of ratio combinations that you can come up with. For an NHRA Pro Stock car, that's great for me because they want all of them, so we get to sell a lot of gears. For most people, they just tell me what they want. We pick a gear somewhere on the ratio chart that's going to work well for them and send them a transmission. A lot of my customers don't really utilize it, but the people that do just absolutely couldn't live without the adjustability that we can give them.
And let's talk about the transmission next to you there.
Next transmission here, the red one, this is our extreme style transmission. This is more for our mountain motor Pro Stock, bigger torque stuff, power adder cars, still a clutch because of the input shaft. That's what the input shafts here are designed for, our clutch. The tooth profiles are very limited, so the ratio chart for this is a lot more manageable. You look at it, you don't get an instant headache by looking at it because it's not so overwhelming. But there are a few people that want, I guess, more adjustability out of this. So they start looking at this transmission because it'll give it to you. It's a balancing act. This transmission is designed around absolute lightweight, as light as we can build a transmission. We get a complete dual countershaft transmission for under 100 pounds, 96 pounds complete with shifter and everything.
Amazing.
For what that trans handles. That is actually amazing. This transmission, though, is because of the tooth profiles we limit it to. This transmission will handle up to 4,000 horsepower. And so if you think about that out of a manual transmission, clutchless manual transmission, it's actually amazing what it'll handle, the abuse.
Pretty incredible. And then if you're running a torque converter?
If you run a torque converter, this has a female input shaft, so it's more purpose-built for a torque converter, slightly longer case, so we put a center bearing support on the clusters. Partially the reason for that center bearing support, when you start getting 3,000 plus horsepower in this trans, we do see these clusters start to bow out and flex a little. Not extremely concerned about it, but since this trans was designed more for 4,000 and plus horsepower, we decided we would put center bearing supports and the female input. This is our T-style transmission. The T stands for torque converter.
in a nutshell, why does Liberty's gears stand above the others that are out there?
This strength is one of the biggest things. This transmission, if you use it for what it's designed for, if you want to use, say, a Pro Stock transmission in a Pro Mod car, well, then you might be asking for trouble. But if you're going to use my Pro Mod transmission in a Pro Mod car, you very, very seldom have any issues with it.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Go to libertiesgears.com if you're into winning and that sort of thing. We're going to gear up for another segment when we come back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Keep it right here.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. BrothersTrucks.com, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. And by Bulldog Adhesion Promoter, save time and money with Bulldog.
Here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, we're always bringing you the latest in cutting-edge technology. You see the laser from AP Laser. They're always leading the way. But here's a unit from them we haven't seen before. Bradley Powers, what is it?
It is the brand new AP Galvo machine, it has a fiber source, which is a fancy term for being able to say you finally have a machine that will etch metal. You can actually go into the metal and do a clear etch so the metal shines through. You can get a black marking, as you can see before us here. And you can even get sort of a white mark on the Motorhead Garage logo that we have. So you are really opening the door with this new machine into a brand new market that a lot of automotive enthusiasts really want. They want to be able to mark those metal items either on their vehicles. The gear heads really want to be able to put their mark on whatever they're creating. And this machine finally opens that door to truly get in there and make what you've been asking for happen. And if you'll open up the door, you can see the interior is just a very small, to the point area with a Galvo head, a wonderful lens, and the Galvo head has a red dot laser that'll allow you to line everything up no matter how small of an area you're etching with this, because this will mark down to a 0.05 millimeter line. So that's very, very, very small. So all the little help that you can get counts, because you can go anywhere from jewelry etching all the way up to wrenches, rotary devices, and it's going to come with the rotary device. That way you can do those tumblers that you want to do. You can go into the jewelry etching for the rings and marking inside of the rings. And if you ever have an issue, you're going to have the tech support that you've come to love from AP Laser.
And you talked about the rotary device that enables all the round stuff.
Yes.
So obviously you can do stuff flat on the table, but the round stuff, it rotates it for you. And you got two different sizes there of the rotary.
Yes, so this is your main chuck rotary system, and a lot of people will use that for exhaust tips, tumblers, anything really cylindrical, because you can expand this out or grip it. So as long as it's a cylindrical piece, you can usually get it in there. And this is more for your jewelry etching for your rings.
Very cool. And what kind of materials are we talking? You mentioned all kinds of different stuff. How many different metals are we looking at?
I mean, as you can see in front of us, we have chrome, we have galvanized steel, we have aluminum, we even have powder-coated aluminum shift knob here. We have a steel fuel door. You have brass, copper, gold, silver. I mean, the list goes on metals, but you can also go into bricks, granite, other items that you can etch with this machine, and you can do it beautifully.
And what kind of speed are we looking at?
Speed, this will etch up to 12,000 millimeters per second. And that is really, really fast. And to be able to do 0.05 millimeter thin lines at that speed, that tells you that you're getting a quality machine.
I noticed that everybody who is a customer of AP Lasers that comes in here is an expert on it, and that's probably because of the training you get.
Yes.
And it comes with this machine as well.
Yes, you're actually going to get a 4-hour training. Included in the cost of the machine, you're going to get a laptop that has everything on it that you could possibly need. It's going to have the programs, it's going to have calibration files for you, so you can go through and do anything that you need to do.
And what about a warranty once they get rolling here?
Well, your warranty is one of the industry leading ones. It is a 3-year parts and machine warranty.
Cool. And if you get stuck, if there's something, you know, you mentioned the tech support and all that kind of stuff. Other users, how can you reach out to them?
You have the user group on Facebook that is thousands among thousands of people willing to help you at any given time that you really need. And you have a treasure trove of information that's out there.
You look at the table here, you see lots of different stuff car folks would be interested in. We got brake caliper covers, an oil cap, a shift knob, a gas door. Folks that love cars are going to love this. They're going to love to personalize their stuff and their parts. You can find us at aplaser.com/TV. And you can find more of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Dragonfire Tools Studio.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Having professional grade detailing products is first part of the equation of getting a great look and a great finish for your vehicle. The second part of that is actually knowing how to use them. How do you guys take care of both ends of that equation, Jason, at Detail King?
So we not only supply the products, but we also do business opportunity seminars and training programs to teach people how to use the products.
We'll talk about the training process in just a bit, but let's talk about the products themselves. Now, my vehicle, folks have seen it, the Dauber Cruiser, sits outside all the time. I don't really get to do much to it. I never clean the thing. I hope for rain all the time. So if I bring that into you, what's the process? Where do we start?
So we'll start with a good wash, start on the engine. We'll clean the engine with a degreaser.
Which product is that?
So we've got a product called Citrus Cleaner that's great for engines and wheels. We'll use that on the engines, the wheels, the wheel wells, and we'll move on to the tires with a dedicated tire cleaner called Tire and White Wall Cleaner. And then we'll move on to the exterior wash and prep of the vehicle. We've got a wash and wax called Black Cherry. It's a nice car wash soap that has a nice polymer in to give a nice shine. And then we'll clay the exterior, rinse it, dry it, and get it ready to prep for paint correction.
What do you use to clay the exterior?
We've got a synthetic clay mitt or towel, as well as our Wonder Lube lubricant that we'll spray on the surface to give some lubrication as we're claying.
How important is that step?
Clay is very important. If we're going to go into any exterior detailing, any polishing or compounding, we're going to clay first. That'll remove all the environmental pollutants that are stuck in a clear coat that aren't going to come off with your traditional wash.
You mentioned the environment there. That made me think a lot of folks are concerned about the environment when they're using chemicals in their vehicle, especially because it all runs off.
Correct.
Tell me about yours.
Ours are all environmentally friendly, VOC compliant, biodegradable, so they're safe to be used.
And using a lot less carbon because it is made right here in the USA. It doesn't have to be shipped from somewhere overseas.
That's correct. Everything's made right here.
And you touched on the paint correction process. Where does that begin?
So depending on what the vehicle needs, we'll either start with a compound or polish. If the vehicle has heavy imperfections in it, we'll do a compounding step to remove most of those scratches, bird dropping stains, acid rain, and then we'll move on to a polishing step to really bring out the depth and the shine to the paint.
Which product are we using for that?
So we'll start with a compounding step first if it needs it. We've got our Diamond Cut Light, which is a light duty compound. If there's heavier imperfections, we might use a medium or heavy compound as well. Once we're done with that, we'll move on to a polish like our Blue Diamond. That will bring out the shine and the depth to the clear coat and just give you the gloss that everybody's looking for. And then we'll put some kind of protection on, whether it's a Carnauba wax, a polymer sealant, or a ceramic coating.
All right, thanks, Jason. And Bill, the training institute you guys have at
Yes.
Detail King is second to none. It's the only one I've heard of in the country. We watched earlier how you cleaned a wheel outside. It's a wheel that I thought was completely clean already, and you assured me that it wasn't.
Yeah.
So what'd you use to get that done?
We used our Chameleon Wheel Cleaner, which is an extremely effective product. It is acid-free and it's safe on all wheel finishes. As you mentioned before, that wheel looked pretty clean, but you'll be surprised how many metal contaminants are locked into that finish. And as that product breaks them down, it turns purple in color, and then you just simply agitate it and flush it away.
And that took us like all of 5 minutes to make that wheel look that good.
Very simple.
Which is
Yes.
very cool. Another part of the training process, we looked at a hood over there.
Yes.
That you guys polished as well. And what'd you use for that?
We used our Blue Diamond product. It's a one-step, it's a light polish and sealant in one. It's not a very aggressive product, but as you can see on the finish, it really brought out the gloss and removed the oxidation of that panel.
This one's of special interest to me here.
Yeah.
This piece of trim you brought in. I've got gray trim just like this all over my vehicle, and you have a method for making it look like this, and you teach that at the Training Institute as well.
We do. That's one of the reconditioning services that we teach during the exterior portion. Faded trim, very common. You'll see it a lot. Some vehicles have a lot of trim, some have very little, but this is a very easy way to restore that is simply using our trim coat, plastic trim restorer. We'll go ahead and use to restore this panel here.
And while you're doing that, I want to ask you about the Training Institute you have at Detail King. How long of a class is that?
We offer a 3-day training program. It's going to start on Friday. run all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Day one, we're going to go over how to start, operate, and grow your detailing business. So we're going to focus on that aspect of it, which is very important. And then day two, we'll get into the hands-on exterior. Day three, we'll finish with the hands-on interior training.
And how much do I need to know about detailing when I come to the school?
You can know a little, you can know a lot. You're going to learn new tricks, but we're going to start from the bottom and work yourself up from there.
Cool, and I like the way you address the business end of it too. You guys, obviously, you're doing a pro-grade product here, so this is something that professionals are going to want to use as well. And when you're done with the school, you're ready to go, or is there more training after that?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to shorten the learning curve for you, really help you out. We're there to assist you afterwards as well. So we're only a phone call away, email away to help you, grow your business. But shorten the learning curve, that's our objective, to get you started off on the right foot.
And how often do you offer the classes?
Training programs are in every month, once a month, all year round.
Cool, I think I might enroll myself here.
Absolutely.
Get a good education here, though. This trim piece, you've done basically zero work, and this thing already looks amazing.
Very quick, effective product, yes.
And how long is this going to stay looking like this?
If you condition it regularly, you'll normally get about 9 to 12 months out of it minimum, but you can certainly see longer results depending on the what it's exposed to afterwards.
And how do I condition that?
We'll use our Revival Trim Restore and just simply put that on every couple months. It'll help condition that plastic, UV protectant as well.
I'm going to make you leave a bottle of that here for me because I surely can use it. And all these products are amazing. The training is also second to none. You can check them out at detailking.com. There's also a promo code for Motorhead Garage viewers. It's MOTOR20. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coating, so don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. POR Products, high performance rust preventative coating. And by Class P's Fabrication, modern beds for modern trucks.
Let's face it, motorheads, changing your oil can be super messy. It can be frustrating sometimes if things go wrong. It can be time consuming for sure. Well, guess what? There is a better way to avoid all that oil running all over the place onto your clothes, onto your driveway. It's from Valvomax, and it's called the Quick Twist Drain Valve. Check this out. Now, this is a patented product, and it enables you to change your oil in about 10 minutes or so with just the turn of a hand. Now, it eliminates the need for a bunch of tools, saves time, and there's no more hassle. The valve's easy to use and anybody can do it, even me. The drain valve permanently replaces the existing drain bolt in your oil pan. So you take out your existing bolt and you put this up into it. Different sizes for different vehicles out there. You only have to install it once and you get easier oil changes for the life of your vehicle. Now the drain valve fits virtually every make and model out there. It's 100% stainless steel and it's sure to outlast any vehicle itself. It comes equipped with a steel cap and an embedded rubber seal for added protection, so it keeps everything out of there, keeps your threads clean, and keeps this thing sealed. Now it's got a proprietary wave spring valve. It's a check valve in there. So there's a tip member here on the tubing, and it won't drain any oil until you screw this on there. Then the oil comes running out into the tube. Now you can use the tube by itself and drain it into any oil pan or any oil container you might have, but there's also a valve here that goes onto the oil drain bags that you can get from Valvomax. Now these drain bags, as you can see here, fold down flat. So if you're talking storage, maybe you live in an apartment or something like that, you don't have room for a lot of oil change stuff, just for a few bucks you get one of these disposable bags. Once you connect it to the drain on your oil pan, oil goes into here, this seals. Take it away to the auto parts store, they'll dispose of it and take care of the mess for you. Get Valvomax. Quit searching for tools. Quit mopping up messes on the garage floor. Upgrade to Valvomax. Their system will give you the best oil change ever. It's got a lifetime warranty. It is made in the USA, and again, it is veteran owned. You can find it at valvomax.com. You can go to Tribotex.com and see all their scientific research and animations. It'll show you how Tribotex works. But if you're still skeptical, just crack open the engine here, Pasha, and you can see on these main bearings that Tribotex is working. How can you tell?
If you look at the engine, very often you cannot tell which oil was used before. But when you use Tribotex, you see film, ceramic coating, deposited as the gray layer of a coating that coats worn out parts. On the rod and main bearings, it's very broad area and intense one. But on the cap bearings that does not have inserts and just plain aluminum, they designed to worn out during the lifetime. So once they start to wear out, valve trains start to make noise, and there is no way to replace it or upgrade it. If you rebuild the engine, you still put those old cap bearings in. So the Tribotex put the layer here where material is worn and replaces it. And another question people ask us, what does it do in the piston cylinder group? Does it coat cross-hatching or something? We did specific tests just to make sure that we not violate manufacturer specification on cross-hatching. And we applied coating to cylinder and ring group and analyzed the surface. So cross-hatching still remains there and remains intact, and the layer goes on top of the asperities and form this thermal barrier that retains heat inside of the cylinder to push your pistons with more force. That's why it is unique application and unique technology that does not much with your oil but become part of your engine. So after Tribotex, you can wear our coating, not your engine.
And Tribotex makes your engine run better. It also makes it last longer. It actually repairs the parts of your engine. Check out how it works at Tribotex.com. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Let's say we do it again next week. Same time, same sandbox. And if you have a product you want to see featured on the show, email Jeff at masterstv.com. We'll get you here in our Masters Entertainment Group studios. From our entire crew here at the studio, so long. We'll see you next time.